Thank you, Dr. Divya. That was very interesting and very insightful. We'll ask you questions towards the end of the session. Right now, I would invite Dr. Dan Smith, who is from Prajna Initiative, and he'll give his presentation on AI ethics. Please start, sir.
Hi, my name's Dr. Dan. I'm a computer guy, a system and network engineer. And I've been working on a project with Dr. Khosla here where it is we've got this problem, and AI is this great power, but there doesn't seem to be any check on it other than money and governments that use it for whatever advantage they can take from AI they use for profit, for figuring out problems that aren't necessarily in the best interest of everyone here. Let me share. And if I could put in, let me put in the chat a couple of our links here. We have an interactive part, and I'd like to have someone try it right here as we're talking once I'm done here. What it is, one of the problems is the voting mechanism. We call this quantavote. Normally from voting, you just have a yes or a no. You vote for someone or the other person. You just have a counter of how many people said yes, how many said no, and it's a very low resolution view on the opinion of the people. And there's different ways to represent that. But if it's very close, who's right? If someone wins by one vote, does that mean they can determine what's right for the other half of the country, the city, whatever the size group you're working with? Sometimes one vote or just a small percentage of the vote can determine course of action for thousands or millions or billions. So what we introduce is a way to, instead of just a binary yes and no or a single vote, this introduces the spectrum as a way to expand the resolution of the vote. If you say no, well, how strongly do you feel against that? If you don't know, that's important too. Many times, personally, I just had to vote on something in my local town. I'm just from a small town, but the wording of the vote it wasn't clear exactly where the money was coming from and where it was going to and how much I was going to help me and how much it was going to cost me. It wasn't clear at all. And they wanted me to vote yes or no. I don't know. I didn't have a good understanding, and I would have had to do more research just to answer that question. But they give you the question knowing that some people won't know what this is, so they just hope that you vote on the one that they want you to. So this introduces the idea of a question mark where I don't know. I don't know exactly if the course of action here. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But if you don't know, well, that's important information. That means it needs to be explained more to the voters. So here's that same scenario. You have 10 no's and 11 yeses, and you can see the sentiment behind the vote. So these people are very, very opposed to this, and these people are for it, but just a little bit. They aren't extremely excited about it. They like it, yes, but just a little bit more than I don't even know. They barely like it more than I don't know. Here's the opposite, where you have people who are very enthusiastically for it, and these people, no big deal. If you go back to this one, what happens? These people won. 11 votes here and 10 votes here. So these people won. How are these people going to feel at the end? They're not going to be happy. You can see more of a distribution pattern of how people feel. Here's the enthusiastic people that wanted it passed. And here's a little bit of some people are very opposed, some people not that big of a deal. Most people a little bit negative, but it's not that big of a deal. And a couple of people very enthusiastically yes. These are all the same vote, no and yes, 10 votes no, 11 votes yes, but you can see the opinion of the group of people. Here's a split opinion. Here's something controversial. Here's something where a small group of very enthusiastic people swayed just enough people to get it voted for, but the other half of the people really don't like it at all. So this is an occasion where someone managed to convince just enough people to say yes, when almost then half the people didn't like it at all. There's another derivative where this is important for problems with distance. You can have a large country or a large group, a large area where a lot of people vote on something that might only affect a very small percentage of the population. So you could have a local vote, local being the black vote and distant being the white vote underneath. This still passed. Everyone who liked it, except for a small percentage, almost everyone who liked it wasn't even there. This could be something that happened 1,000 miles away. You have an opinion, but what about the people that are there? The people that are there don't like it at all. Not one single person who was there liked it, but it still passed because the people who weren't affected by, these people don't have the consequences. These people do. So if it's something bad, what happens there? These people feel totally disenfranchised. They don't have a voice. They feel like they don't have a voice because they've been overpowered by people who are far away. Same thing here. These people don't even care that much. They're far away and they said yes, but they don't even feel that strongly about it. Everyone local hated it. So those are the serious problems. You can take something profound, something that's a serious problem, and you dissect the opinion. So how about this? Florida, I don't know if you know, but Florida is pretty flat. The tallest mountain in Florida is a stepladder. So why don't we sell Everest to Florida? It's possible, right? Just enough money. Who should have the voice? The people with the money or the people in Nepal? So here's a little video to show how it would work out. You can see how the opinion changes. These are different votes from different people. This is just a demonstration, of course. This is just me. As far as I know, Everest is safe. So you can see the variation in opinion. These are the people that don't really care that much one way or the other, or don't understand the question possibly. These are the people that feel negatively. And so far it looks like Everest is safe. But what if someone runs a big ad campaign? You have too many mountains over there anyway. You aren't going to miss just one, right? You can see the opinion. Oops. Sorry, I messed that up here. Here we go. And here's what would happen. What if someone mounted some campaign to persuade everyone that it's a good idea? You might get enough votes. So that's the problem. How do you discern between a large group of people, discern the value of their vote? So here's an example of where the local vote is separated from the distant vote. Anybody has an opinion. Anybody, especially with the internet, everybody can see and have opinions on things that happen thousands of miles away. Who should have the voice? Whose opinion is most important?
Dr. Dan, if you could complete the presentation, please.
Yep. But here's a representation, how you separate the local opinion from the distant opinion, from people that are far away. By separating them by the black and white shows you who's affected. The people in black are the ones that are affected personally by the vote, and those are the people who aren't affected personally. They have an opinion. They might have the right to vote, but they don't have the consequences. any question, and you can see the opinion. Being anonymous, people aren't afraid to answer. All their vote is simply a color, and they're somewhere in the distribution. Everyone's opinion is somewhere in the distribution pattern. What that does, that gives AI a way to see opinion in a way that doesn't exist right now. This is a new way to represent opinion, that AI can watch the patterns, it can see the patterns, and it can learn to see what will generate. What do we want? Well, we want everyone to like everything all the time. That's your utopian state. With AI, it can see what repercussions, what things lead to more people heading over this way, what affected the local population this way, what affected the most of people this way. It's a feedback system for AI to see what people like beyond money and power. So that's it. That's what we have. That's what we're bringing, and we're looking for people to try it out. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear them.
Sure, Dr. Dan, it was very interesting and very insightful. And we have several questions for you, and which will help us know more about your technology and, like how AI can be more ethical, which you could address to us later towards the end of the session. Thank you so much.
Let's see.
Now, can we have Shruti?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah.